India turned out to be this remarkable country where constantly governments were toppled and no government had a majority. And yet a kind of long-term vision continued from Manmohan's 1991 all the way through till today. In 1990-91, the economy went bust. So then we had a new government of the Narasimha Rao, which was a minority government. He wanted a technocrat as finance minister. And he told Manmohan Singh almost clearly, so we have to produce radical reforms, although I can't say so. Your job to produce the reforms. If you succeed, I will get some credit. If you fail, the blame will be put on you. So this was the basis on which Manmohan Singh became finance minister. He announced his first budget. In those days, the budget used to be announced in the evening. But in the afternoon, the industry minister announced delicensing of every industry except a limited list of 15 and abolition of the Monopolies and Restrictive Practices Act. These two biggest hurdles were abolished by the industry minister in the afternoon, and because the newspapers came out the next day, everybody thought it was part of Manmohan's budget. It looked the same. It was not. And you will not guess who was the industry minister, sir, because nobody remembers. The industry minister was Narasimha Rao himself. So he was so clever, he did not want to be associated. So he managed to get all this put on Manmohan as part of saying, if it works, blame on Manmohan. If it succeeds, I'll get part of the credit. So that was the budget where they came out with a series of economic reforms trying to dismantle the old license permit Raj and say we are going to go at liberalisation and globalisation. Instead of trying to be a self-sufficient public sector dominated economy, we will also become a private sector friendly economy. So this was immediately criticized by the opposition. Oh, you are lackeys of the World Bank, you are lackeys of the USA. The moment we come to power, we will change all this. However, within 5 years, it succeeded so much that when the opposition came to power in 96, they said, how can we change all this? In fact, what happened was that Mr. Chidambaram, who had been part of Congress, he had split off to form Tamil Manila Congress, and therefore he became the guy who was an opposition party came to power, and still Mr. Chidambaram was finance minister. He cut the income tax rate further to 30%. I mean, it was called a dream budget at that particular point of time. But from my point of view, the reason why it was an important budget is for the first time, the finance minister said, all my rates of import duty should become reduced to the same rate as in ASEAN to make India internationally competitive. So this is this long-range vision, which was very important. So Manmohan did a first step. Chidambaram had that second step of long-term vision. It was not within his own term. He was out of office within 2 years. But the vision had been set. And when Vajpayee came to power, he followed the same vision. So India turned out to be this remarkable country where constantly governments were toppled and no government had a majority. And yet a kind of long-term vision continued from Manmohan's 1991 all the way through till today. So these were great budgets, really landmark budgets.